So I would normally start the massage on the supine position or facing up. So every time I'm gonna approach the body, I always like to touch with my hands and do what we call palm pressures. And the palm pressures allow me to feel the tissue directly on my hands. These are the knees over here. Create a connection with the body. Feel the density of the tissue, see what it feels like. Also say hello. So to focus on the use of the herbal compress again, when I've been working with my steamer, every 15-20 minutes or so, I want to make sure that I add water to the unit. So that it continues to create heat and steam. And every steamer unit is going to be different, and if you're using the stovetop, it's going to be different. So just be mindful that you want to have enough water at all times that is heating up and keeping your compresses hot and steamy, but don't have too much water that the basket is getting wet and your compresses are getting too wet. See, because I can squeeze these compresses and they're hot, but there's no water coming out of them, and that's what you want. So to do the leg, it's going to be the same idea of the work where I'm going to introduce the heat of the compress to the bigger muscles. That will be the upper leg. So I'm going to always work on the thickest part of the muscle to introduce the heat, and also the outer part of the body to introduce the heat and temperature. And again, I'm walking, rolling the compress, leaning into the compress, not do too much pressure around the knee. And once I have kind of like painted the body with the heat, with the herbal compress, then I take the herbal compress in one hand and I use my other hand to also mimic some of the movements and create a more deeper therapeutic experience. And it doesn't have to be fast. The only time that you're moving perhaps a little bit faster is when it just comes out and it's steaming and you're doing this rolling movement, because you want to make sure that you don't stay in one spot too long so you don't burn them. But once that initial heat is gone, but the compress is still nice and warm, that's when you get to play. It's like doing Play-Doh, making bread, kneading, compressing. Also, when you're rolling the compress on the body, you want to always make sure the handle is up as opposed to towards the table, because then it'll get stuck, it'll get on your way. So you want to make sure the handle's always up. So never on the kneecap, but just around the knee for sure. So the leg is pretty straightforward, I feel. It's not that difficult. And then I'm gonna add a couple of stretches to the leg of the work, to the work of the leg. So I'm going to do a figure 4. And I'm going to palm press. Again, finding the natural stopping point of the body. My model here happens to be a flexible person, But if you were somebody who couldn't go fully into the figure 4, you can take a pillow and put it on the outer part of the leg over here to support them. So you always want to find, when you're stretching somebody and when you're moving the body out of corpse pose or line A, you want to look at, you're looking for what is the maximum, where can they go? You always have to keep that in mind if you're going to go into stretches. Otherwise, you can do the herbal compress massage and not do any stretches. But if you are going to do the stretches, the first thing you do is measure. Where can this body go to comfortably? And feel free to communicate with your client if it's comfortable for you. And if you see that they might be pulling too much on the groin, or you start to see that the other leg gets elevated, that means that it's too much pressure on that hip area. You might want to not do that pose, or once again, you can use a pillow to support and then be able to do that palm pressure effect. So that's the figure 4. From the figure 4, I'm going to hold the back of the knee, open the heel up to the side, place it on my outer hip, and I'm going to use my hand to press. I'm going to expose so that you can see, since she has pants on, so that you can press on the hamstring. And once again, I'm standing straight and I'm leaning into my front leg in a Tai Chi or in a warrior pose, if that makes sense to you. From here, I'm going to bring her leg up. And then straight. Yes, there are many other stretches that I can do, but for today, for the introduction video, I think this will be really good. Then I will repeat the same steps on the other leg, and then we'll move on to the arms. So I just finished working on both legs, and I'm going to finalize by doing once again the palm pressures, circling the knees. Then I'm going to go on the side here, palm press the legs all the way to the hips. Put your arms on the side of your body. I'm not going to do any stomach work in this basic introduction video, but I will later on do some work. Stomach is amazing with herbal compresses. For now, I'm just going to do some circles, counted clockwise motion. And I'm going to come to the arm. I'm going to expose the arm, have my nice warm compress here, and once again I'm going to start on the thickest muscle and the muscles that are more used to touch. I love doing the shoulder deltoid area. Now, when I'm working on the arm, because I'm doing proper draping, pretty much anything that I can see, I can touch. Meaning that I'm exposing a little bit the top part of the chest. You can feel free to work on that area. Feel free to work on the neck, trapezius, shoulder, and arm area. So when I say working on the arms, I mean working on this full area here. And see how I am holding just the tip of the herbal compress, and this hand is just pressing and rolling. I'm going to change my compress. Get my towel here. So this is my second herbal compress. It's nice and steamy. I have to say I'm very proud of this blend. I love the scent of this compress, and the different notes come through at different points and different cooking points of the herbal compress. So you will be enjoying this quite a bit. Once again, in my flour, and I know it's nice and hot. With the first compress, she's already felt a little bit of heat, so this is not the first introduction of temperature to the arm. Remove the towel, feel it in my forearm. So when I went to Thailand and studied Thai massage, our teacher, John, would say, look at your client's face. If they're smiling, they're happy. If they're not happy. So pretty much he was just saying, look at your client. If you're doing something and it's bothering them, their facial expression is going to show you. So I was doing this without even thinking, but see, I'm working with this herbal compress here, and this other hand is pressing and kneading. So massage therapists are used to working with two hands, so this really makes them feel comfortable doing this work. I know I did the inside of the arm when she was facing down, but you can never have enough work on your arms. So you get the idea.